Always look out through the world. What happens? What's the input? What happens in the field of recycling and environmental? And this was an opportunity. So we are a small group from Sweden, and we are mainly here to learn, because Rwanda and Africa in all is a growth area, both in environmental, the green growth, but also a market. It grows the same. So that's the main part.
Right. And of course, so when you talk of Africa being a growth place or growth area, especially for investment, we've also seen the East African community being one of the biggest attractors of FDIs. Probably from an investor point of view, would you be able to share with us what is actually attracting, what is creating this appetite for people like you to want to come in?
One major point is the status of the country. Is it peace in the country? Do you have any conflicts? Are there any militia or something that could drastically put down the interest of investors? So that's the first part, to keep the country in place and in peace. And then you should get the signals from the government or departments what way they want to go. And if you pick up the signal that correlates with what you yourself want, that's a good thing.
Right. So if you talk about probably the conversations that have already been going on at the Africa Green Growth Forum, in line with your expectations when you're taking that flight to Kigali to participate here, what is really coming out from this forum?
First of all, when we planned this trip, we didn't know at all on what level this arrangement would be. So, but I'm quite surprised and pleased that you have the mix from very high level down to earth questions with Mr. Frank Riegemann. And we also planned ourselves some field trips to Ecoplastic. We go to the e-waste. We are going to see recovered paper facilities on Thursday. So we mixed also. And we also, in our Stena group, we have a company, we have two companies who works with waste management with air, who I think would be very interesting for the African market, especially in the larger cities.
And talk to me, because you deal a lot with recycling. What would be the key driving force that probably, or that key message that you'd want to pass across about the significance of recycling in actually greening our economies?
It's 2 points, I think. The first point is that you always should have the whole chain. You can't just start with, there are examples for countries that implemented a law that this is forbidden, but they haven't any other possibilities, then they created a problem. You have to think through the whole chain. For instance, I'm surprised that no country made a law that you shouldn't put the product on the market if you can't recycle it. Today, it's a lot of products put on the market that you can't recycle, and that's insane. And the other thought I have is about plastic. It's a lot of discussions with plastic in the ocean and plastic on waste, and that could be a little bit scary, but plastic is a fantastic material, but you should use it right, and you should always make it recyclable.
So what you're saying is that among the laws that we make in our individual countries, we need to actually push that anything that you are actually bringing to the market must be recyclable. But for it to be recycled, then there needs to be expertise to actually do that particular recycling. And this has been the challenge for many countries which do not have recycling plants of the magnitude to be able to recycle all this. What would it take for you to finally decide and say, I want to now put up my plant so that I can tap into that gap that is there in these countries?
Oh, it's not for me to say, but it's an interesting question, because it needs a lot of things that should be on place first. First of all, we must create a market in Africa, first of all, and then also, if you have a recycling plant, then the whole chain needs also a recovered paper factory that uses the recycled paper. And if that plant is far away, then you have problems with the economy. It's also a chain. You need steel mills, you need paper mills, you need plastic mills reasonably close. Some of the materials you can transport, but that's also an environmental problem if you transport them too far.
Right. You've actually expressed interest in the East African community, and you've also touched on Rwanda. After this forum is over and done with, what or how soon what would be the components that would make you say, now we are going to come?
I have to make some discussions with my colleagues on different. Also, our company is divided in different business areas, and we should have a discussion what kind of business area should be the most interesting. And I think still the waste disposal company should be the first, because they have a system and they are in the whole world except Africa. With that concept. It's very, very interesting concept.